Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are continuing our castle tour with a video from the Castle Girl here on YouTube. And this is Castle Campbell. I do know that it is in Scotland. I think it's kind of ruins, but it could be a mix of both. I'm not sure. I think we'll probably find out in this video though, and I will link her video in the description if you guys want to jump over to her channel, check her out. I've come across her actually a couple times doing these castles videos. It might be one that we need to subscribe to and follow her and maybe check out some more of her videos. But let's go ahead and check this out.
I'm Emily, and I'm the Castle Girl.
Looks at least partly just ruins.
Today I'm at Castle Campbell.
It's gorgeous. These all have the best views, which I guess you would have to. You'd have to know who's coming.
Castle Campbell is a ruined medieval tower house castle. It commands its position high on a hilltop at the head of Dollar Glen in the Ochil Hills, which is an area around 1.5 miles north of the small picturesque town of Dollar in the historic county of Clackmannan, which is around 14 miles northeast of Stirling in central Scotland. The castle sits prominently high, with stunning views overlooking the Forth Valley, with steep ravines on 3 of its sides.
It's gorgeous.
This may have been an earlier site of a motte and bailey structure dating from the 12th century. Castle Campbell was originally named Castle Gloom. Gloom in Gaelic simply means fissure or chasm on the land. The castle sits between 2 burns called Care and Sorrow that join as the Dollar Burn below the castle. The oblong tower we can see today was built around 1430 for the Lords of Lorne and originally named Castle Gloom. But by 1469, the first Earl of Argyll, Colin Campbell, had married the daughter of the Lord of Lorne, Isabel Stewart, and acquired the title Lord of Lorne.
Castle Gloom. Not a... sound happy.
Colin Campbell was a master of King James III's household. He wanted a place nearby the Stuarts' court in the area surrounding Stirling Castle. He rose to the Lord High Chancellor of Scotland in 1483. Campbell rebelled against James III in favour of his son, who became James IV after his father died at the Battle of Sauchieburn in 1488. On request by Colin, James IV changed the name of Castle Gloom to Castle Campbell by an Act of Parliament in 1483. The castle began to be shaped into its present form thereafter. The enclosure was built in the 16th century, and a range of buildings around its south and east walls gave room for more accommodation by access to stairways in the courtyard.
Maybe? Well, yeah, I guess it is partially gone. I was gonna say.
These buildings are
Maybe
similar
it was
in
just
continental
walled.
Renaissance style to the King's Old Building at Stirling. You can access the tower house and its upper levels However, there are only ruins left of the Great Hall and banqueting area.
Wow. That fireplace. I think we might have watched a video on like some of this. Said I was going to do multiple videos on these, so that's gorgeous. Some faces.
You can access the garden and the grounds beyond through a vaulted archway in the courtyard. The garden is enclosed by a low wall.
That's pretty.
In October 1529, Archibald Campbell became the 4th Earl of Argyll during the reign of King James V. James sent Archibald to the Scottish Isles to prevent a rebellion by the Lord of the Isles, although Alexander MacDonald of Duniveg convinced the king that Archibald was using the role to his own advantages on the Isles. After investigation, the king imprisoned Archibald and renounced his title. It was only after King James V died that Archibald regained his title by Cardinal Beaton. Beaton produced the will of James after he died and named Archibald as one of the councillors of the Scottish monarchy. Beaton also named himself as governor of the kingdom and guardian of James V's infant daughter, who was heir to the throne, Mary Stuart. The new Queen of Scotland was born 6 days after her father's death in 1542. During this time, Henry VIII of England was intent on arranging a marriage between his young son, Prince Edward, and the infant Mary, with which Archibald was one of many earls at the time to refute the arrangement, along with the Earl of Huntly, Earl of Moray, and Earl of Bothwell.
Crazy
Mary
to
was
think
sent to
about.
France to escape Henry's rough wooing in 1548, and there she married Francis, the Dauphin of France, in 1558. During this time, Archibald was drawn to John Knox and the religious Reformation. He became a leader of the Presbyterian Church of Scotland. John Knox visited Castle Campbell around 1556. Archibald Campbell, the 4th Earl of Argyll, died in 1558 and was succeeded by his son, also Archibald Campbell, as the 5th Earl. Mary Queen of Scots returned to Scotland in 1561 after the death of her young husband Francis. She stayed at Castle Campbell in January 1563 to attend the wedding of the 5th Earl's sister, Margaret Campbell, to James Stuart, a landowner who became the first Lord of Dine.
Wow.
Mary fell ill during the 3-day celebrations, along with her half-brother, also called James Stuart, who was the first Earl of Moray. In 1565, when Mary married Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, who was also the heir to the earldom of Lennox, the Earl of Argyll distanced himself to the young queen and joined the rebellion known as the Chaseabout Raid led by Mary's half-sibling, the Earl of Moray. She was, by this time, not welcome at Castle Campbell. The rebellion was in disapproval of Darnley, and through fear that Scotland would be ruled by a Catholic monarch during this time of religious reformation. This was not encouraged by the English Queen Elizabeth I, as she did not agree with Moray's revolt against his own queen. Argyll was connected to the Edinburgh murders of the Queen's secretary, David Rizzio, in 1566 at Holyrood Palace, along with Moray, and the murder of Henry, Lord Darnley, in February 1567 at Kirklefield. The Earl was astonished when Mary married James Hepburn, the Earl of Bothwell, the following May, as Bothwell was openly accused of murdering her husband, which led the public to believe that she too was involved in the atrocity. Along with Moray, Argyll joined the campaign objecting to Mary and Bothwell, although distanced himself to the plan of disposing of the Queen. Mary was imprisoned at Lochleven Castle until she escaped in 1568. Argyll led her army against the Earl of Lennox at the Battle of Langside, although he lacked military skill and they were defeated, leaving Mary to flee to England for sanctuary from her cousin Queen Elizabeth I. In 1571, Argyll reconciled with Lennox after the Queen's abdication in favour of her young son James in order to restore stability in Scotland, and became Lord Chancellor of Scotland in 1572.
Wow.
Archibald Campbell, the 5th Earl of Argyll, died in September 1573. He had no living heir, therefore was succeeded by his half-brother Colin Campbell, who became the 6th Earl of Argyll. When Charles I was executed, the Campbells initially supported Charles II. In 1651, Argyll placed the crown on Charles' head at the Palace of Scone. Argyll, however, opposed to Charles' invasion of England in 1652, and he submitted to Oliver Cromwell's cause. In 1653, Cromwell's army was garrisoned at Castle Campbell. Over 2 nights, Royalists rebelled, attacked and burned Castle Campbell in July 1654. After the Restoration, in 1660, the Earl of Argyll was executed. His son, the 9th Earl, decided not to stay at Castle Campbell and built new residences near Stirling. The castle was also briefly garrisoned during the Jacobite uprising in 1715.
I mean, it's stood through a lot. That stonework is just crazy.
After that, the castle was abandoned. The 6th Duke of Argyll sold it to Crawford Tate of Harveston in 1805. The Harveston estate gifted Dollar Glen to the National Trust of Scotland in 1948. The castle now is a scheduled ancient monument and is in the care of Historic Environment Scotland. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to visiting a castle near you. Bye!
That was awesome. I think she did the best job I've seen on one of these. I mean, just giving in a fairly short amount of time. I think it was a 13, 14-minute video. Um, just covering a lot of history, a lot of information, just hitting like the key things. And as she was talking, I, I I kept thinking about how many movies there are about like these royals and these monarchs and the marriages and the drama, and they probably don't have to write in a lot of filler and new scenes because the real stories are like crazier than you could even think up. But absolutely excellent video. I am actually scrolling down, subscribing, liking. You guys should do the same. Go check her out because that video was incredible. Definitely going to watch some more of her videos for like somebody that don't do a very good job at history, because she certainly does. Very interesting Scottish castle for sure. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope that you guys did as well. If you did, hit the like and subscribe here. And don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notifications every time a new video drops. Thanks for watching with me, guys. I hope that you have an awesome day.